Hello. Okay, class, let's take a look. Oh, no wonder my bookmark is wrong all the time, Sally, because I store the latest file in another file. So no wonder each time wrong because I store in other place already. I check out already. Okay, class, let's take a look. We are in the three vehicle. We are in the practice of the way, the three study and the eightfold right path interwoven. Class, basically remember in the previous lesson, actually we are the Four Noble Truths. Okay, so the cause of suffering as regards to the five aggregate, we finished, we done with. Okay. Then second, the cause of suffering is the ignorance and the defilement. We're done. Okay. So now is kujimi the nirodha. Okay, meaning to say that the path. I mean the nirvana. Regards the nirvana we have done. So now we go to the Eight Noble Path. But before the Eight Noble Path, we study. It begins with the three studies. Let's take a look. So this is the three study. We call it as a three superior study. The reason is because it will mutually help to each other. So meaning to say after the precept, we hold the precept will enhance, will enhance and make the second samadhi perfect. So once we hold the samadhi will make the prajna perfect. So that is the meaning we call it as a three superior study. So now we go to the verse is, okay, when the Buddha expounded. Yes, okay, Amanda, can you read the passage, please? Can you read the passage?
When the Buddha expounded the truth of the way, however, the most commonly used classification was the Eightfold Right Path. The Eightfold Right Path should be called the Eightfold Noble Path, or the 8 branches of the Noble Path. This path, the right one to follow to become a sage, has 8 indispensable ingredients: right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. The Eightfold Right Path is the same as the 3 studies. Right speech, right action, and right livelihood are the study of the precept. Right mindfulness and right concentration are the study of meditation. Right understanding and right thought are the study of wisdom. Right effort is common to all 3 studies. The 8 branches of the Noble Path are also the same as the one vehicle. The Buddha told Subhadra that because non-Buddhist religions do not have the Eightfold Right Path, they do not lead to holy fruition or liberation. But his Dharma does lead there. We thus see that the Eightfold Right Path is the only doctrine that can lead to nirvana. The Mahayana Lankavatara Sutra also says, only the one great vehicle has the soothing 8 branches of the path.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so we stop here. Okay, so please highlight the point. Okay, class, let's take a look. So here, basically, we will classify the 3 study as Eightfold Path. Okay, take a look. So this is the Eightfold Path. Basically, a non-Buddhist that don't have this Eightfold Path. You see the study of precept. So the study of precept means the right speech, right action, right livelihood. Okay, each is relevant to our 5 precepts. The study of meditation is the right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentrations. Okay, then the study of wisdom is the right understanding and the right thought. Okay, can you check for me which one is common to all? If you know this, you can on the mic, please. Which one is common for all?
Right effort.
Yeah, that's true. Right effort. So meaning to say that right effort common to all, meaning to say for all, each of them, precept, meditation, wisdom, we need right effort. Okay. So what does that mean of the right effort? Basically, one we call as a right effort, meaning to say that if let's say, okay, we have followed the good precept, we have to enhance it and keep it. So the precept which we haven't performed, we should try to do it. And in the future, the precept, the good precept, we should try to make it, perform it. And if let's say for those actions which is opposite with the precept, we should avoid. It will appear in the future, we should avoid it. Okay, if something already passed, we will try to make it never happen again. So that is the meaning of the right effort. Okay, so if you try your best with the right effort, meaning to say that you will consider all the aspects, especially regards future and the past. See or not? So we call it as a right effort. Meaning to say you try your best to avoid in the future and also avoid the future. And if happened before, you will let it not happen anymore. Okay. So we start with the next paragraph. Okay. Yeah, Yung Sin, can you start right now? Number 80.
The three studies. First, the superior sila with the power of a pure mind can protect the mind from committing offenses, and each precept by itself is liberating. The system of the Eightfold Right Path is the most complete explanation of the truth of the way. This truth will be explained according to the three studies, and the Eightfold Right Path will be described when we reach the study of wisdom. The study of the precept. First, sila, a Sanskrit word translated as precept, means calming, soothing. Generally, when people hear the word precept, they associate it with rules, with the written disciplines that vary according to period, place, and circumstances. The most important thing, however, is the actual substance of the precepts. The function of the precept is to stop evil and encourage the doing of good. The Buddha's original intention was not to restrain people by rules and regulations alone. He encouraged the restraint of a purified mind. When the mind is restless and annoyed, it engages in all kinds of evil, which leads to nothing but torment and regrets. If one keeps the precept with a pure mind, one does not have regrets. And without regrets, one can have peace and happiness. Affliction are like thorns covering the ground and keeping good grain from growing. Precepts kept a pure mind like a cultivated, weedless land in which seedlings of virtues can grow. How can the mind be purified? Through faith and taking refuge. If one believes in the three treasures and the four truths with a deep understanding and sincere vows, and if one truly has faith, one can have a pure mind. Faith is therefore described as the mind having purity as its own, just like the water purifying pearls that can purify muddy water. From these pure beliefs arises the power of stopping evil and doing good. Essence of the precepts. When one actually receives the precepts, therefore, regardless of whether they are the lay upasaka and upasika precepts, the 8 precepts practiced by lay people, the Sramanera and Sramanarika precepts, those Bhikshuni precepts practiced by Sramanirakas, or the Bhiksu and Bhikshuni precepts, one has to begin with the threefold taking of refuge. When one takes refuge, one proclaims that one is an upasaka or so on. This is called actually receiving the precepts.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point. Anybody realize that you read this passage before? Where did you read the passage before? Anybody feel familiar or not? You can answer by on the mic.
Is it from the meditation class, Sifu?
Yes. So Sally totally forget already.
Remember it, but let them answer.
Sally, very good answer.
So you see, in order to organize a meditation for beginner, I have to get something from this. We call it as a three vehicle, because this is more practical part, regards to the Vinaya. Some more here. Okay, basically, once we talk about the 5 precepts, let's take a look. The analogy we try to use the piece of the land. Okay, oh, where is this? What's this? Okay, wetlands. Maybe I should put okay, so this is a piece of the land. If there's some water in the land, meaning to say that we cannot grow any good crops on the land with a lot of wet. We have to remove the wet so that we can, cultivate some good crops. Then the good crops will avoid all the wet to grow up. It's the same. Basically, by holding the precept, if our mind always with the good consciousness, so there's no room for all the unfavorable consciousness. Okay, and then how do we start to create and grow the good consciousness? Okay, the favorable consciousness. Number one, in certain, in certain extent, in certain contexts, it is inborn in nature. Okay, meaning to say that some people they have a habit of giving during the childhood, or maybe they'll be more stingy in the childhood. Sally, do you observe any special characteristic in your nephew? You thought like it's without teaching one. The inborn have a tendency to do something.
Yes.
Good thing, good or bad?
Good.
Good one. For example?
He knows how to take care of the elderly.
And you realize
that he was only 2 years old, just learning to walk, and he knows how to take care of the elderly.
Okay.
Getting shoes for them or whatever.
If that's the case, this is carried forward from the past life one. So number one is inborn in nature. Second, through the ceremony. Ceremony meaning to say that you go through the procedure, okay, make a vow to take the 5 precepts. So this sentence, you make a vow to take a 5 precepts, it will become a power for you in the future. So next time, if you have the opportunity to do the good and you don't do, and and you have an opportunity to avoid all the bad, but you don't do, you will regret. After this, you make a vow. So that's why sometimes the procedure is still necessary to trigger. We call it as a precept body. We got a special words for it. So actually, through the ceremony, you make a vow. We call it we still call it as a rupa, but this is something which is not, you can't see, it just implant inside your heart. Okay, so one day it will grow up. See, so that's the meaning here. Okay, basically, once we talk about the precept, let's see. You see, okay. So sila, the Sanskrit word is a sila. Sila. Sila meaning to say is a suiting or the coming associated with the rule. Next time, basically, once we talk about sila, people will think, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? So next time, please don't say we go for 5 precepts. Oh, no. You just say, we try to enjoy some soothing. More attractive. Then people will say, oh, soothing. I want to come. Then they come and will say, oh, no killing, no stealing. But we should put other way. We say, we should say that you come to learn how to do the giving. You learn how to do, how to have a good speech. This is more interesting and more positive. So next time, please put Dharma in a different way, in a more positive way. Okay, then see. You see, this is the function of precept. Stop evil and encourage doing the good. You see, so avoid any regrets. See, okay, okay, class, you see here. But now I think it makes sense for you already. When you start studying the Buddhism, it doesn't make sense. You see, you believe the 4 truths and the 3 treasures. So meaning to say that your mind will start to purify. Because now from 4 noble truths we study. So you realize that 4 noble truths meaning to say that finally it will lead you to the Nibbana. So now you hold the precept is for the purpose of the Nibbana. Oh, it's totally different already. If you compare in the meditation for beginners, okay. But same analogy. Remember, we try to say, we try to build a motive in your heart. Okay, then you wish to maintain the purity in the motive in your heart. So you try to avoid all the good deeds, all the bad deeds. So it's the same. You see, once you understand 4 noble truths, you realize that true. I mean the 3. Through the 8 noble paths, our mind can maintain the purity. So this is purity, something we're looking for. We call it something like Buddhahood or Nirvana. Okay, but just somehow, actually cannot explain why we lost it. This is something cannot explain how. You see that? You see now I'm telling you. I say that this is the Nirvana, right? Everybody got a Nirvana. You see. Okay, so if you got a Nibbana, when do we lost it? This is the problem, you see, because now we try to, through the cultivation, to attain the Nibbana, the purity of Nibbana. If we want to cultivate until we attain the Nibbana, meaning to say, do we possess it before? Yes, Amanda, from your perception, do we possess the Nibbana before and then now we lost it?
I think we haven't. If we already attained, we shouldn't be back to here again.
So if that's the case, meaning to say we go to look for something we haven't experienced before, we haven't possessed before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds a little bit okay, but you see, okay, why do okay, now we go to look for something which we haven't lost before. Okay, so in ridiculous, you see, now we look for something we haven't lost before. Okay, so why it is precious if we haven't lost before? Why it is so precious? And why do you believe that this is precious, which you haven't possessed before and you haven't lost before? Why do you think it is so precious?
So do we have it or not? Like
no, we haven't had it before. And we haven't lost it before, but now we are going to gain back something we haven't gained it before, we haven't lost it before. So why you still believe that it is so important to find for it?
Maybe it's there, but we don't know. But to find out.
Elena, yes. Don't know how to answer.
Sibu, today I'm out of shape, so
okay. So so you just maintain out of shape, no problem. Just maintain the situation. Okay, yes. Yeah, Mr. Leong, why?
To find our own roots.
Okay, so class basically this question I think Buddha also would answer. Okay, but why we know that is true Dharma learning? Right now, you see, until now, we believe that, there's something called Nibbana. After attaining Nibbana, then there will be no more reincarnation, right? How do you know? Because we studied the sutra. So the sutra who tell us is from the Buddha. Okay, but of course, if you ask the question, we haven't, of course, we haven't experienced before, and we haven't lost it before, but just because we trust Shakyamuni. Okay, that's we trust it. Why we trust it? Because through the suffering we are encountering now, right? Not our life is full of suffering. Things keep on changing, happy also changing, suffer also keep on changing. So we realize, this is true. So from here we understand they got something called Nibbana. So we try. But of course, you need times to build out the faith. So we start to holding the precept. Then we also do the meditation. It seems good so let me go to further. This is what happened. Class, if you ask the question, basically no answer. If you ask Shakyamuni, Shakyamuni will give you the analogy of the arrow and the bow. The analogy of an arrow to answer you. So meaning to say, just asking, there will be no answer for it. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so from here, by understanding the four truths, so it takes time to build up the faith. Then from here, pure belief arises the power of stopping evil and doing the good. Okay, So if you ask yourself, do you start to have the power stopping the evil and do the good? Can you put out your hand? You feel you have the power already. You hear? Yes, good. Amanda, Sally. Mr. Leong raised so many times. Okay, yes, it should be the right way. If you don't have, meaning to say that the power haven't grown up yet. Not that good. You have to make sure it's grow up. And at least you feel guilty. I'm thinking for the bad. I feel guilty. But anyway, sometimes what happened in reality is if you learn a new method, basically you will maintain a good favorable state and avoid all the bad thing. But sometimes if you reach a bottleneck, then you will go start balik all the bad habit. You're sure you will. Why? Because sometimes the bad habit not for this life, only for many life. You see, okay. So you learn a new method or you learn new method. Then suddenly you thought, I settled the problem already. It doesn't appear in the mind already. But just somehow it will appear again. You see. So we call it why? Because in Buddhism, especially in the consciousness only school, they say everything you plant now is in your alaya, the storage in your mind. So somehow, it will just grow up once the condition is there. But anyway, now we have to control the condition. So we make sure we always practice the Eight Noble Path. And then even though the studying the Dharma, you see or not? Okay. Hey, do you think it's effective for us? We met every weekly. To make sure the mind in purity. Sally, do you think it is meaningful? Every week we met, meaningful, right? If let's say we don't met do you think the mind is getting bad and bad, right? It will turn worse. So no matter how 1 week we must meet once, even though sometimes the thing is go to nitty-gritty, but still good. Okay, we keep on reminding. Okay, so that is why everything begins with the listening. Okay. So then some more thing is here. Let's see how. Okay, we call it we got a few category. One is the Sramanera. Sramanera, it's just like a probation by work. For example, if you worked in a company, Sramanera is a probation period. And the bhikkhu is considered a confirmed staff. So this is a monastic life, but for temporary. But for bhikkhu and bhikkhuni, they are confirmed already. So anyway, class, I will encourage you for novice program. So after MCO, I don't know what. After once all the virus gone, encourage you go to the temple and practice the novice program and feel how do you have a great impact to you. Okay, so next we go to the next paragraph. Your turn to read, please. Later
to formalize the events, the taking of precepts by bhikkhus and bhikkhunis was revised. becoming the Natikatuna karma ceremony. Without purity of belief, one cannot attain the precepts. Even with the Natikatuna karma ceremony. So the precepts are the pure mind that comes from a profound faith accompanied by vows. This pure mind leads to a strong power that protects the mind from committing offenses. The precepts are also called the rules and regulations. The equivalent Sanskrit word is Sumavera, which literally means equally protecting, referring to the way rules and regulation protect one from doing evil. There are three types of rules and regulations. If true wisdom arises, one is then free from afflictions and attains the rules and regulations of the way. If the meditative mind arises, then with concentration, one is free from afflictions and attains all the rules and regulations of meditation. If pure belief in the three treasures and four truths arises and wants to practice the Buddha Dharma as a lay disciple or a disciple who has given up lay life, then one attains the specific rules and regulations of liberation. Since these are healing, pure, and soothing, they are all precepts. They are the essence of the rules and regulation and exist prior to the individual precepts.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point. Yogwa is pronounced as samvara. Yogwa, samvara. Yes, okay. Elena, Elena out of shape already. Mr. Leong, this type of J and A basically we pronounce by ignoring the J. It is correct in English, Mr. Leong? Correct, we just ignore the J, right?
Yana.
So meaning to say we have to mix together lah, J and A lah, J and N lah. Okay. Okay, class. So just now we mentioned that we have gone through a ceremony to get the precept. So that is the name lah, Nyapti Chatura Kaman ceremony. That is the ceremony, the name lah. Quite difficult to pronounce and remember. So we'll make a vow lah. So this one, the power is equivalent lah. Once you take an oath before, before the how to say before the installation as a prime minister or agong, or even you just become MP lah, it's the same or maybe before the marriage, it's the same with me. So this type of ceremony, that's the purpose for the ceremony. Then we'll call once you follow the rules and regulation, we call it as a samvara. So class, you have to take a look. So just now we got one book, we call it as a sila, right? Now here is a samvara again. So sometimes the Pali or Sanskrit word is different. It might be different. So you just take a note. There might be some a minor, a difference only. And then one for a time we wouldn't bother it, but we know, oh, there's a samvara. That is, we call it as a sila. Basically, samvara means to what? You have to safeguard your organ. Class, this is the organ. So for every time once our organ, our faculty contact with outside, okay, we will be very mindful. If let's say whether it's appeared, the unfavorable consciousness or the favorable consciousness, so you'll be very mindful to this. So that we call it as a samvara. Okay, so there are the three types of rule regulation. Number one, if a true wisdom arises, so this is we call it as a maga and pala class. Number one is the maga and pala. If there is a maga pala, they will be free from all the afflictions, okay, and free from and attain the rules and regulation. Class in Abhidhamma, if let's say your maga pala chitta arise, all the precept, at the same time you are holding all the precept, okay. So that is the definition. Then secondly, it's about the what it's a concentration. So concentration is free from affliction if you do the meditation. So what's the difference? If let's say both are free from affliction, but one is the wisdom, one is the concentration. So what are the difference? Sally, what are the difference in terms of affliction? If you compare the wisdom, vipassana, and the samadhi, so what's the difference, Sally? I don't know. Okay, yes, what's the difference?
Difference.
You can't tell. Okay, class, basically for the true wisdom vipassana, there is a total eradication of the affliction. But for samadhi, it's a suppression only. It's a suppression only, meaning to say that you'll be temporarily gone. So class, if you meditate very well, maybe you enjoy the nimitta, or maybe for 1 day, 3 days, you will be free from affliction. But you thought, oh, maybe I'm arahant. So there's a misunderstanding. Because after 3 days, all the jhana gone, so you start to scold people already. And Sally start making the cake again. Because you attach to it, you come back again. But if let's say you really experience the vipassana, then all this thing gone. Maybe Sally still will make the cake, but making the cake without attachment, that will be a little bit, that's a different story already. Okay, so get it. So that is the difference between the true wisdom. So true wisdom, sometimes the terminology we use is the vipassana. So class, please write down. This is the right word. So okay, vipassana. This is the word. Okay, true wisdom is not a common word to use here. So let's check the more common words. Mr. Leong, is true wisdom commonly used in Theravada in your time? No, right?
They mention wisdom. Yes,
No,
many times.
True wisdom, but here I think insight is more common. So class, can you just
yeah, insight is more common related to vipassana.
No. I mean the true wisdom. True wisdom seldom used, right? True wisdom seldom.
Less insight is more commonly used.
Yeah. Okay. Please copy down. True wisdom use insight and write the vipassana. That will be fine already. If you further the explanation, you see intuitive light flashing forth and exposing the truth of the impermanency and the suffering and impersonal and unsubstantial nature of all corporal and the mental phenomena of existence. Wow, this is the I think this is the Shakespeare English. Looks so scary. Okay. So sometimes we call vipassana jnana, you see. Okay. So just 2 will be enough already. In simple English, meaning to say that you are all able to observe the nama rupa in terms of impermanence, non-self, and suffer and the suffering. Wu chang ku wu wo. Yeah. Okay. You're able to see the impermanence and the non-self of the 5 aggregate. That is the meaning of the vipassana. Okay, the last one, the third one, attain the specific rules and regulation of liberations. So we got 3 types of, rules and regulation. First 2 will be integrated with vipassana and the concentration. The third one, we just simply observe the precept. That's all. Okay. Okay, next 2 paragraphs. Maybe, okay, Elena, can you read even though you're out of shape? I can read yeah.
The specific rules and regulation of liberation pertain to human beings. They are attained through belief and taking refuge, whether by men, women, lay people, monastic people, adults, or children. Because of differences in social relationship, lifestyles, physical strength, and so forth, The Buddha established different specific precepts. The 5, the 10, to provide practitioners with a guide to put an end to evil and to encourage good in their physical and verbal conduct. They are therefore called pratimokkha, meaning the specific precepts for liberation. Each of these precepts should be kept, for they can liberate one from specific faults. In general, people who regard the precepts as important probably emphasize the rules and regulations, but neglect the essence of precepts, which is mental purification taught by the Buddha. The ancient meditation teachers always spoke of the natural precepts, emphasizing the pure mind with inner virtues. But the inclination toward purity of realization is not attainable by ordinary people. Actually, in the Buddha Dhamma, faith enables one to enter the way. Faith is the origin of the way. The truly pure faith and the vow to practice are the real foundation of the study of the precepts.
Okay, yes, class. Okay, start at the point. Mrs. 亮画完了，打个大拇指啊 ，Mrs. 亮哈。OK， 好，来，下面还有一点点哦。Okay, class, take a look. Now we talk about we have a different category of the 5 of the precept basically 5 precept, 8 precept. Okay, but no okay. And no matter how different category, we have to know the definition of the precept. We call it as a pratimokkha in Pali or Sanskrit. Pratimokkha means what? Once you observe one precept, then you'll be free from. Then you will be how to say? You'll be free from certain defilement. Let me see. Specific fault Pratimokkha means you hold certain precept. You're free from specific fraud. For example, you see if you observe no killing at the same time, meaning to say that taking care with all the animals surrounding you. So meaning to say that if you hold this precept, you will start protecting all the, all the living beings surrounding you, including the human. You see. Then if let's say if you miss the opportunity to protect them, you feel guilty. So in order to avoid guilty, you will try your best to protect them. So that's the power of the pratimokkha. Okay. So that is the purpose for the pratimokkha. See. So in general, people who regard the precept as important probably emphasize the rule regulation but neglect the essence of the precepts. Yes, sometimes people host the precept without, there's a possible so we should try to avoid it. You see a class, we talk about liberation, right? Maybe you will think that, oh, liberation to the living stock is so important. In Mahayana, we practice it regularly. But if let's say you go to liberate all the birds and all the fish, okay, but at the same time you don't really take good care of a family member, so you ask them, oh, please open the can food. I no time to cook. I want to go to liberation in the temple. Also, if this happen, it's just something what we call it. You don't emphasize the essence of the precept. You just do. People see. You see, I buy a lot of fish. You say I liberate. You see, married, right? But the point is, the family you don't really take good care. So that is the 种养 So we should really understand. Oh, the precept behind is No killing meaning to say you take care, especially human, in your family member. They are the main core people. Okay. So if you really take care of them, meaning to say even though people don't see you do but you really get the essence of the precept. Then next, okay, emphasizing the pure mind with inner virtue, you see, then the theory, the truly pure faith and the vow to practice are the real foundation of the study of the precept. Yes, I mean, from here, you start to build up a good habit. Let me check. Here, I want to check something for you. So class, take a look. Now, here, I think, 戒体So there's a terminology for the power avoid doing the good, avoid doing the bad and doing the good. Let's see. Yes, God. Okay, let's take a look. Okay. Okay, no English. Okay, well, the Chinese. Hey, okay, Amanda, just take a look. It's getting more confused, right? Just a glance only. Oh, it's getting more confused. So better don't read. Okay, so we can't get the English one. Okay. So yeah, I will try to look other dictionary. Sometimes this is not 100% guarantee we get all the words. Okay, next paragraph. Maybe okay, Sally, can you please spread the passage? The specific rules and regulation. No. We are here already. Number 81, please.
The 5 and 8 precepts for the laity are as described before. Among the precepts taken by the lay disciples are the attendant service, rules, and regulations, which are the 5 precepts for upasakas and upasakas. There are also the staying nearby rules and regulations, which are the 8 precepts for the monastic disciplines practiced by laity for the whole day or for the short period of time. These have been previously described in the Dharma common to 5 vehicles. Originally, the 5 precepts and the 8 precepts were for the lay disciples of the Stravaka vehicle. The world transcending precepts are taken for the purpose of liberation from birth and death and are practiced with the resolution to renounce. If the precepts are taken with the resolution to have better future lives, however, they then become part of the Dharma of the human and divine vehicles. But it is wrong to assume that the 5 precepts are only the Dharma for the human and divine vehicles.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Oh, you can't see, Oh, want to make it bigger, right, Sally, Right.
First, number 81.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
number 81, yes. Mr. Leong, hey,
Yes.
is attendance service make sense in English, Mr. Leong? Does this make sense?
Sorry.
Is attendance service make sense in English? Is it
not common. Don't understand.
So worse than Shakespeare. Am I right? Okay. So sometimes,
Right.
so sometimes we have to look for the better words, because after you learning the way to Buddhahood, then finally you cannot communicate with other people. Don't know what you're talking about. 咁就好慘啊！OK I do a little bit correction OK 因为玉华他这个他翻译他不跟传统英文的，他自己弄了很多英文就来，所以这些 banana 都不是什么来的OK 我们做一点点改良了Let's see Okay, maybe before we check for this OK among the precepts taken by laymen are the attendant. OK 我知道了，这个是静住男静住女来的，静是男静是女So let me look for you the more common one OK 静是男了静是男。Service attendant OK 一会儿你帮师傅查，你快吗？可不可以马上就查得出成佛之道哪一个 part？ 玉华可以吗？考你玉华来，现在把成佛之道找出来，看你们可以马上把它找出来这个是不是中文的静住男、静是男他用的词OK, just see service attendant
师傅，我对照了那个华语它那个叫做什么禁事律仪rules and regulation 的那个stand by nearby staying nearby 它是禁住律仪
是的，这个 attendant service 它用什么词
我对照的它是用禁事律仪
禁事律仪OK
禁事是
staying
就是禁住
OK 禁事了OK never mind anyway we don't get the English also we go back to the Chinese it's also even worse you see because why it translate like this you see actually it's upasaka it means what the layman who serve the triple gem you know so he write a service attendant you know it translate from here so meaning to say that he's struggling to the translation because the translator got nothing to rely on. we shouldn't laugh on him because he really got nothing to rely on. You see, so finally come up with the service attendant 咁樣嘅嘢走出嚟啦。Okay, so anyway, class, maybe you just write the upasaka, that will be fine already. Upasaka. Upasaka, you just like the Pali in the service attendant. So let me try to look a better service attendant for you, Upasaka for you. Okay, Upasaka.玉华你就hold着这个成佛之道了随时帮师父找出他的中文用词玉华麻烦你这样玉华你就中英都通了的了
师父，其实我上课之前已经对照了的，我先做功课了，要不然我不明白讲什么。
好的，你就帮师父这个忙OK So you see upasaka let's see, wow, so many definition a devout or faithful layman, so simple So class you just write a devout faithful layman just write it OK 所以你就帮师父这个忙So you see class, let's take a look here's the definition upasaka, sitting close by, lay adherent. Okay, it's the lay follower who is filled with the faith and taking refuge in the Buddha. Okay, it's a lay adherent better than the service attendant, Mr. Leong? Elena, yes Okay, so please correct it with the lay adherent Upasaka got meaning of the sitting close by So please correct a lay adherent But I think the translator also after some deep consideration or deliberations or for the translation. I think so, the way I see it, he doesn't simply just put certain words. They got a group to study how to translate. This is look better. Okay. So late adherent. So class, let's take a look. Why we talk about this? Because you see, basically we got two types of precept. One we call it as the word transcending. One is not the word transcending. If let's say it's not the 5 precept and the 8 precept, basically it's for the layman. Okay, if it's for the layman, 5 precept, 8 precept for the layman. A class, if you can hold the 5 precept, at least 1 or 2, in the next slide you can come back, become a human again. Okay, but for the 8 precept, basically it's a one-day monkhood precept, so it will lead you to the nibbana. It's a simple way to understand. So if let's say you wish to, to experience, the monkhood, so you can try the 8 precept. So recently, because due to MCO, 8 precept is conducted by online. Okay, if let's say conduct by online, it will become, for the preceptor must tell you the details, so that you won't infringe the precept. Basically, 8 precept just conduct in the temple. Number one, because they want to separate their husband and wife. They don't want to let them to stay together. Then secondly, maybe in the house, a lot of attraction, or maybe especially from maybe music or this, that in order to hold the 8 precept well, sometime even though the soup you are using, or everything must be free from fragrance. So if you stay in the house, quite hard for you to take care with all the detail. If you stay in the temple, more simple, all the things is ready for you. Okay, so that's what we call it as 8 precept. See, it's wrong assume 5 precept only for the Dharma, human and the divine vehicle. Human divine vehicle means what? Meaning to say is, for the Ren Tian, 5 precept is only for the human and the divine. No, but basically this is already this is a fundamental for the human and divine. But you can proceed from here to what? You can proceed to how shall I put it? For the renunciation. Okay, then now we go to the details. Let me check any terminology. Staying by, nearby. So they got the meaning also close. Just now, you see, they're sitting close by. He really go to check the Pali also, upasaka, the meaning. It's virtue as pure if it's observed the 5 precept, pancha sila or sikkapada. So class, there will be one more word, sila, samvara, one more is a sikkapada. Okay, 3 words all is regards to the precept. Okay, next paragraph, whose turn to read? I forget already. I think maybe, okay. Yes, Amanda, your turn again.
The precepts for monastic are grouped into 5: Sramarena, Sramanerika, Bhiksu, Bhikshuni, and Siksamana. For the disciples of the Sravaka vehicle, there are 5 groups of monastic precepts. The first 2, the Sramanera and Sramanerika precepts, are a preparatory course for monastic people who have recently left the home life and do not yet have the full monastic qualifications. Sramanera is translated as diligently going forward, meaning diligently seeking liberation from birth and death. Sramanera is the male form, Sramanerika the female. The precepts for Sramanera and Sramanerika are the same. The 10 precepts. They are 1, no killing; 2nd, no stealing; 3rd, no sexual relations; 4th, no lying; 5th, no drinking; 6th, no use of perfumes, garlands, or personal adornments; 7th, no partaking in singing, dancing, or play, and no watching or listening to them; 8th, no use of luxurious high seats or beds; 9th, no eating at improper times; 10, no accepting of treasures or of coins or objects of gold and silver. The first 9 are similar to the staying nearby precepts. After leaving home and having received these 10 precepts, one can then be a Sramanarika or Sramanarika. These are monastic precepts, so one has to completely refrain from sex. The 6, 7, and 8 precepts are for maintaining a simple life with contentment and minimal desire. The monastic life established by the Buddha rests on the principle of being content with only the basic needs. The monastic community's clothing, food, lodging, and medicine, the 4 requisites, should all come from begging. To avoid giving rise to desire, no clothing or food should be saved, and certainly gold, silver, and treasures cannot be accepted. Because monks beg for alms, they keep the precept of not eating after noon. The last 2 precepts, along with the precept of no sexual relations, reveal a special characteristics of monastic in the Buddhist system, the abandonment of the marital relationship and of the economy of private ownership.
Okay, thank you so much. So class, please highlight the point. Mrs. 亮好了，打个大拇指 ，Mrs. 亮，画好了哈。OK， 好，来，下面还有一点点。
好了。
Okay, so class, let's take a look. Now we try to tell you the difference between the 5 precept and the monastic precept. Okay, class, basically once people start to hold the Sramanari precept, meaning to say that they're aiming of a liberation. In our principle of the Buddhism, actually, how do we call it? We call it as actually the sexual activity, there's a tendency to make us to reincarnate again and again. So that's why, I mean, they will try, so this is reason why from 5 precept to 8 precept, the proper sexual activity will turns out become no sexual activity. The reason is because they notice that that is one of the causes for reincarnation. And then in order to make the precept become more, you can maintain the precept well, so the other supportive precept have to come to contribute to help it up. So number 1 is, they will try, number 1 is regards no more, wearing the garland, no more perfume or this. The reason because the people use the perfume garland, some is for, for social protocol, but some actually the purpose to attract the opposite sex. Because if you want to become a monk, meaning to say that you don't want to, you have to stop to having the offspring, you have to stop for being attracted to opposite sex. So that's why you are refraining from using all the garland or this thing. Okay, the second, there will be no music, no dancing. Why? Because sometimes also say, because sometimes music or dancing, there will be some, in certain circumstances, they will be sexually attractive to each other. So they try to avoid. But if let's say the music, singing, all this is related to, for salutation to the triple jam, they will be fine. Okay. Then there will be one more. This is 2. It helps. One more is you have to try to avoid to using the luxury bed and also the high bed. Because if let's say you eat very full and then you lie on a very comfortable bed, so you have a tendency the mind will be impure. So that's the reason why the rest of the other 3 precepts is try to be supportive to avoid for this precept, the 3rd precept. Then one more is regarding no eating after the known time. Sometimes if you eat a lot excessively and too full, it will also start the mind. The mind will start to turn out become impure. So that's other reason. Okay. So one more is quite different with 5 precepts is regards no holding or possess any money. So this is other one. Okay. So after I'm telling you all, maybe we'll ask, how come Sifu also holding the money, right? Or I accept the money offering directly. And secondly, I also eat after the known time. Okay, basically, in our Bhikkhu precept, okay, we have a different category. We have category number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, the category number 1, you cannot refrain one. It's similar with the 5 precept. If you refrain if you commit the one of all of the 5 precepts, we cannot become monk anymore. Like you all, if you refrain, if you commit the heavy karma, will make you cannot become a layman. Quite hard to meditate also. Then becomes and the second class you can repent, but we need a lot of people to help you to repent. Then regards holding the money, and also regards the 18 after the known time is in the class number 3rd and the 4th. So 3rd and 4th, according to Shakyamuni, he mentioned that after the meeting within the Sangha community, you will allow to polish or replace it with other form. So that's why we do certain thing on it, especially for not holding the money. If for the Orthodox monk who live in the jungle in Thailand, they really practice not holding any money. Okay, but they notice that no matter whether you hold the money or whether you don't count the money, you don't hold the money, you still have to use the money. Do you see forest monk with a computer, Mr. Leon? Right? They still have the computer, so they still have to take the air flight. Where it's come from? You still have to use the money. So, but the precept, because 2,000 years ago stated very clearly, no holding the money. Because maybe at that time they're allowed to do so due to the agricultural area at that time. So they just twist a little bit. So they appoint a layman as a kapiya. So no matter, so if you offer them the money, you just give to the kapiya, and they don't call it as a money, they call it as a requisite. So this is what the Muslim do. So they say according to the Muslim, they cannot get the interest, right? So they call it as a hiba. If you put money in the bank right or bank Muslim, something like that. It's the same only. So they twist that a little bit. Okay. But whereas for an open mind, the progressivism like me, no need to do because I know that we have to do many things. So I just directly hold the money. But anyway, the money, it doesn't not really for personal possession. We have the perception that it belongs to the temple, and we will write down the view. Once we pass away, everything will go back to the Sangha community. So that is the important point. So we need to say the things, everything will go back to the Sangha. So that is the point. So regarding eating also same. This one, it depends on individual. So if possible, actually, it's up to you. If let's say you go to the temple, hold the 8 precept, basically you have to follow all. So make sure you don't, bring much money. Don't bring. Then because they have to follow, and then regarding the eating, basically there will be some replacement for you. You can drink certain thing, you can eat something which is allowable, the most simple and light food, and then you can have a better meditation performance. Okay, so that is why you read the text, but my life will be different. That's the reason behind. But anyway, I still encourage you, if possible, please go to the Thai forest jungle monk and try to experience. Maybe in the worship program, you can go to join and try to experience. Totally, you don't hold the money. You don't count the money, you don't possess the money, even though nothing in the bank account, because you wouldn't bring your bank account there, right? Then you feel how is it? But I think you cannot bring your handphone, because the Bitcoin also in the handphone, right? Now all the transaction in the handphone, so you cannot bring the handphone anymore, right? Because the definition of the money is the currency, it's something you can trade in and trade out, you see. So I think you cannot bring a handphone because you can use it to do the trading. So you don't bring a handphone and try to experience how the purity in the jungle. Okay, so this is a few things. Okay, yeah, so I mentioned all already. Okay, class,